Have you ever wondered what classical education actually means? It's one of those phrases that sounds really old-fashioned, like something from another century. But here's the truth. Classical education isn't outdated. It's the foundation that shaped the greatest thinkers, inventors, and leaders in our country. And it might just be what your child needs most today. Classical education dates back thousands of years to ancient Greece and Rome. Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, they didn't teach facts. They taught students to seek truth, to reason, and to live with virtue. Later, this model shaped the early church and the Renaissance. It was built around 3 stages of learning. Number 1, grammar, mastering the building blocks. Number 2, logic, learning to reason and connect ideas. And 3, rhetoric, communicating truth with clarity and conviction. This method trained minds to think deeply, not just remember the answers. And when America was born, our founding fathers, Jefferson and Franklin, they were all classically educated. They read scripture, philosophy, science, and poetry side by side. They didn't separate moral character from intellectual pursuit. That's the kind of education that built a nation. One of the greatest gifts of classical education is the Socratic Method, and it's named after Socrates himself. He didn't lecture, and he asked questions. Instead of saying, "Here's the answer," he would say, "What do you think? And why do you believe that? Could there be another way?" It's how students learned to wrestle with the truth, through dialogue, reasoning, and humility. And at Agape, we've brought that spirit into our modern classroom. We don't give the answers, we guide the learners to find them. That's why we call our teachers guides and not lecturers. Classical education is alive and well here, and we blend its timeless principles with hands-on project-based, faith-centered learning. During reading adventures, kids will discuss big ideas and questions about courage, sacrifice, and character. In math and science, we ask why and how do you know, instead of what's the answer. And in history, learners step into character, debating like Jefferson, questioning like Franklin. And in leadership quests, they practice public speaking, persuasion, and moral decision-making. Every part of our rhythm echoes the classical belief that truth, beauty, and goodness are worth pursuing, and that children are capable of far more than we can imagine. You don't need a teaching degree to cultivate a classical spirit at home. You just need curiosity, time, and conversation. So here's how you can do it at home. Read living books together. Biographies, scripture, classic stories that stir the soul. Ask questions instead of giving them the answers. What do you think? Why do you think they did that? Slow down for beauty. Look at art, listen to music, and talk about what moves you. Encourage your child to explain their reasoning, even when they're wrong, and praise their effort to think. That is how you will raise thinkers and truth seekers. We live in an age of shortcuts. AI can write essays, solve math problems, and answer questions in seconds. But wisdom still can't be downloaded, and character can't be automated. That is why our children need classical education more than ever. They need to know how to think, how to discern truth, how to communicate with grace, and how to lead with integrity. At Agape, that's exactly why we guide them to do that through stories and discussion, challenges, and community. If this resonates with you at all, if you want your child to grow not just in knowledge but in wisdom, come take a personal tour, and there's a link in our bio. See how classical education, reborn through faith, wonder, and leadership, comes alive at Agape, because the world doesn't need more children who can memorize. It needs more who can think, reason, and lead with love.